Nico Rosberg stood on the pit wall of the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, his eyes focused on the Ferrari moving through the turns like it was skating on ice. This wasn't just another practice session, it was a troubling sign of what could be a disaster in the making. Rosberg, a former world champion who once battled Lewis Hamilton wheel to wheel, knew the feeling of driving a car that didn't want to cooperate. As the Ferrari twitched and slipped, he simply said into the microphone, "That car is truly vicious." His words were calm, but carried serious weight. He wasn't trying to cause drama, he was giving a warning, and the world was listening. The car in question was the same red machine that Lewis Hamilton had been trying to tame all weekend. On paper, Ferrari's latest floor concept, the boomerang, was supposed to bring the team closer to the top. But on the track, it was doing the opposite. Hamilton was fighting the car at every turn, his hands flicked on the wheel, trying to catch sudden slides. From the outside, it looked like chaos. From the inside, it felt even worse. Hamilton wasn't driving to win. He was just trying to survive each corner. Rosberg, watching the onboard footage, pointed out the number of corrections Hamilton had to make in a single turn. 1, 2, 3 in the corners, not even over. He said, Ferrari's problems weren't just about driver performance. The data from practice sessions told the same story. Hamilton ended free practice to an 11th place, over a second behind Max Verstappen. That kind of gap is massive in today's Formula One, and Charles Leclerc, driving the same car, was only a bit better 9th place. That proved the issue wasn't with Hamilton or Leclerc. The problem was buried deep inside the car. Inside the Ferrari garage, engineers were staring at screens filled with red warning signals. Brake discs were touching 900 degrees Celsius. Rear tires were heating up to 46 degrees after just one lap. The moment the tires overheated, grip disappeared. Hamilton radioed back to the team, saying, "Front slides, rear snaps, no flow at all." The engineers tried to analyze the data, but every line graph showed the same thing: time was leaking away. The main issue was with the car's floor. Ferrari had designed a unique boomerang shape under the car with S-shaped tunnels meant to create downforce. In the wind tunnel, it worked perfectly, but on the real track, it was a different story. The floor needed to stay within a tight 2mm range to work. Any bump, gust of wind, or change in the road could break the airflow seal. When that happened, the car lost grip instantly. To make things worse, Ferrari had used thinner materials in the rear suspension to save weight. That added extra flex under pressure, making the car even more unpredictable. This mix of problems meant that Ferrari's car had the personalities. One lap, it felt fast and glued to the track. The next lap, it became wild and unstable. Drivers couldn't trust it. One mechanic joked, "The floor is a trapdoor stable until it isn't." And that's exactly what Hamilton was experiencing. Every corner became a gamble. Hamilton's onboard footage showed him fighting the car every step of the way. In turn 5, he had to press the throttle, not the brakes, to keep the rear from sliding out. Tire marks on the track showed just how wide the car had gone. At turn 9, the car lost suction mid-corner. Hamilton had to short shift to avoid spinning, giving up valuable time. Dust and grass stuck to the sides of the car, proof of how close it came to the gravel. In the garage, engineers saw every moment replayed in the data. Spikes in the gyroscope charts marked each sudden yaw, and every yaw meant lost lap time. Ferrari's floor design had a critical flaw. It could offer great speed, but only under perfect conditions, and conditions on a real racetrack are never perfect. That made the car dangerous. It wasn't just about performance, it was about control. Hamilton wasn't chasing fast laps. He was trying to keep the car on the road. Despite all this, Hamilton didn't lose his cool. After practice, he took off his helmet and quietly asked the team for corner-by-corner analysis when Gus records and brake heat data. He booked extra simulator time with reserve driver Antonio Fuoco. They tested every ride height and suspension setup, looking for anything that would make the car feel stable. Hamilton reminded the team how he once tamed a wow. McLaren in 2012 has still won races. "Give me a stable base," he said, "and I will find the time." Meanwhile, tensions were rising behind closed doors. Team principal Fred Vassar pushed to bring back an older floor design, already packed for the next race in Canada. Technical director Enrico Cardile warned that abandoning the boomerang design would waste months of work and cost the team under the tight budget cap. Aero chief Diego Tani showed slides proving the new floor had worked in Bahrain, looked shaky in Jeddah, and failed in Spain. Marketing was worried about sponsor reactions. Finance feared losing prize money. After 2 hours of debate, they made a decision. They would keep the boomerang floor for now, but raise the ride height by 2 millimeters and stiffen the anti-roll bars. They also prepared the old floor just in case. Overnight, the garage turned into a hive of quiet activity. Mechanics searched for spare parts. Software engineers updated simulation models. An envoy from the Agnelli family stopped by and gave a short order. Make it quick and safe. The pressure was intense. One wrong move could ruin the season. The mechanics adjusted ballast, softened brake maps, and fitted a slightly new diffuser edge that promised better grip. By 2 a.m., the car was back together. It looked the same on the outside, but was full of small changes. Saturday morning arrived. Birds chirped over the circuit, unaware of the drama that had unfolded overnight. The Ferrari crew had barely slept. They taped bright arrows on the new parts so they could spot cracks or failures. During the warm-up laps, Antonio Fuoco shared notes from the simulator and said the car now felt finally normal. For a team under fire, those words meant a lot. Ferrari has a history filled with bold changes, some that worked, others that didn't. In 2018, a floor change after France led to a failed title bid. In 2020, a new engine design left them underpowered all year. And when ground effect rules returned in 2022, the team faced porpoising so bad that drivers got blurred vision on straightaways. This wasn't the first time Ferrari had taken a big risk, but it was one of the most visible. Everyone was watching. The next few races would be brutal. After Barcelona came the tight streets of Canada, then Austria's thin air and Silverstone's high-speed corners. These tracks would test every part of the car. If Ferrari couldn't fix their issues now, the season might be lost before July. But if they did fix them, there was still hope. Hamilton knew that. That's why he stayed focused. That's why he spent hours going over data instead of complaining. He believed the car could be saved, but belief alone isn't enough in Formula One. Speed and stability win races. That's what Hamilton was chasing. The final decision rested with him. He could settle for slow improvement and hope the others made mistakes. Or he could keep pushing the team for real solutions, even if it meant late nights and risky calls. Hamilton had done it before. Now he had to do it again. As Sunday approached, the mood in the paddock was tense. Would the changes work? Would the car stay stable? Would Hamilton get the platform he needed to fight? Everyone would find out soon. The red garage doors would open, and the world would see whether Ferrari had fixed their flaws or just covered them up. If Hamilton climbed the podium, it would be a triumph of skill and teamwork. If the car failed again, the questions would get louder and the doubts would grow. Whatever happens next, Barcelona has already become a turning point. It showed the danger of chasing performance too aggressively. It exposed how small design choices can lead to big problems, and it reminded everyone that even champions need the right tools to succeed. Rosberg's words still echo. You cannot chase a title like this. He wasn't mocking Hamilton. He was speaking from experience. He knows how much damage an unstable car can do, not just to a season, but to a driver's spirit. Now the world waits. Fans, engineers, rivals, everyone will be watching Ferrari closely. The next race, the next session, even the next lap could decide the team's future. And for Hamilton, every second will count. In Formula One, pressure is always present. But this is different. This is a true test, not just of speed, but of resolve. If Ferrari finds a way to tame the boomerang floor, they can still fight for the championship. If not, they may face another year of frustration and missed chances. The story is still being written, and the next chapter begins the moment those red lights go out.